show a man who's going to give us a first-hand account of the events that surrounded and the experience of the last game in Oakland. The Raiders had their last ride in Oakland, as you all know, against the hated Denver Broncos this last Christmas Eve. And of course, the Raiders came away victorious, and there was much pomp and circumstance around the event. And so we had been in touch with this guy over a few other occasions. We wanted to get him on. He's a veteran, and we thank him for his service and his things that he has done to protect us. And so we thank him for that. So we thought about getting him on for Veterans Day, and then we heard he was going to go to the game and he was going to take his family. So we wanted to hear all about that from a firsthand account. So welcome to Raiders Fan Radio, Micael Senn. Welcome, Micael.
Hey, thank you, Murph. And I just want to give a shout out to all the Raider fans. I'm just a diehard fan. I love all the Raider fans and all the Raider Nation. I'm a Raider apologist, or maybe lack thereof, a Raider unapologist, depending on how you describe it. But I bleed silver and black through and through. So thanks for having me. I love you guys. I love the positive spin you guys do, and you guys speak from the heart, speak truth, and I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Well, appreciate the compliment. And this is Raiders Fan Radio, so it's only appropriate for us to have other Raiders fans like us on the show. And you got a great story to not only share with your most recent experience, but tell us a little bit about your fan origin story. How did you become a Raider fan?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to say any disclaimer, any of my views is that of myself and not of that of Raiders Fan Radio. So, so you're excused there. But yeah, definitely. I was born in the silver and black. My dad was a Raiders fan. He's from Southern California. I was like in first grade, and my uncle was a guitarist, so I wanted to be a rock and roll guitarist. Like there's nothing else that was going to change my mind. And then my oldest brother, like 4 years older than me, he played football, and the team he was on, we lived in Washington State. He was on a little league team called the Raiders, and they wore silver and black. And the moment I saw him play, my whole mindset changed. Even though it was that long ago, like I can remember it like yesterday that, I was going to be a football player. Like there was no doubt in my mind. Like I loved football. It was my first real true love. And so started loving football, started loving the Raiders. So even though I was born into silver and black, like that was the pivotal point, seeing my oldest brother wear that silver and black and how much I loved it. Bo Jackson, like in the heydays of Bo Jackson, Bo knows. To me, Bo Jackson was the greatest athlete to ever live. As I got older, and then living in places like Montana, being around a bunch of Bronco fans, almost getting in fights with kids because, I was a Raider fan. And as time went on, that's where I really kind of hit my roots of what it means to be a Raider, like what it means to be a Raider fan. So the answer to that, me against the world mentality, the small guy, the chips stacked against you, being hated and still, not going to give waiver, all the sayings of the Raiders organization, what they have, commitment to excellence, the will to win and just win, baby. Like those are easy sentences. But if you dissect what those sentences mean, they break down into much bigger categories that really define either, I would say, from a fan to a player to a coach to an organization. And the history behind the silver and black is so deep.
So who's your favorite players? Give us your Mount Rushmore. Now, when we ask the question, we spot you Al Davis, and you only get three because that's why the question is so hard. So you got four people on Mount Rushmore. Obviously, Al is up there. Who are the next three that most represent the Raiders to you?
Bo Jackson started for me, so I'd start with Bo. I know it was short-lived, and people would argue with me one way or the other, but I would say Bo because of had he not got hurt, I really do think he was the greatest multi-talented athlete to ever play the sport of football. So I would say Bo Jackson first. Second, Tim Brown, his loyalty to the Raiders, his heart that he put in, and how hard that guy tried every game. I'd say Tim Brown second. There's a long list in there that I'd probably go Stabler. I think how the organization changed, and even though it's kind of before my era, Kenny Stabler, and he embodied what it meant to be a Raider. And you could go Woodson. I love Woodson. I mean, there's a long list, so I don't want to discredit anybody. Those are the guys that really implement the silver and black.
Yeah, man, those are great. And that's why the question's hard, is because someone gets left out, because Howie Long, Ted Hendricks, Charles Woodson, Fred Biletnikoff, Willie Brown. I mean, Mount Rushmore would have to be 100 people deep if you tried to get everybody, but that's what makes it so tough. But it's always a fun question to ask because it gives a unique perspective of your fandom. And what's really cool is that, like, for you, I think you're the first one to put Bo on there.
Yeah. Anybody wants to argue with me, play Techno Bowl on original Nintendo.
There you go.
And play the Raiders with Bo Jackson and tell me any different. Man.
There you go. That's right. That's right. So, okay. So you're a diehard Raider fan, and you're an out-of-market Raider fan like I am and like a lot of other people are. You decided to not only go to the game on Christmas Eve, but you loaded up the truck, man. You loaded up the whole family and took them to Oakland for Christmas. So tell us a little bit about your trip and how it went down.
I realized early on that I was like, well, this possibly could be our last game in Oakland. And that was important to me. I haven't taken a vacation in 10 years, literally. We decided to went from tickets to like, hey, let's bring my brother and his kids. Let's make a family event. So I hadn't seen my brother in 9 years, hadn't taken vacation in 10, and made a family affair. Flew in a couple days. As soon as we got to the game, it went from kind of being a mist out to just a downpour. I'm literally out there without proper gear on, and everybody's, the Raider fans are amazing. They're setting up tents. They're still barbecuing. It's like it's raining cats and dogs out, and diehard Raider fans are like sitting there, not even going to pack up gear or nothing. They're still setting up. They're like, there's no way I'm leaving. These guys are diehard fans, and I'm looking around. All I could tell myself is only Raider fans would stick it out in a situation like that, because the rain was coming down. My brother was supposed to park in our parking lot. He got stuck on the other side of the stadium. So I'm out there getting drenched head to toe, waiting for him. And he comes up. I hadn't seen him in 9 years. And
first time you saw him after 9 years was in the Raiders parking lot?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. All right, go ahead. Sorry, that's awesome.
So, yeah, my brother, his wife, 2 kids. So he sat there, and I knighted them. I had a couple extra jerseys. Went to the stadium. I ran into Violator. So I got a picture with the Violator. I was like, this is amazing. And went into the stadium for about 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden, just a monsoon came. And I was soaked. I'd got some ponchos and stuff, but I was soaked head to toe. I mean, my feet, socks, everything was just completely drenched. I got some hot dogs for my kids. As soon as I sat the hot dogs down, my brother's like, hey, there's Mark Davis. I literally leaped over 3 rows. I was like, Mr. Davis, can I get a selfie with you? And I'm getting a picture with Mark Davis, telling the guy how much I loved him for bringing back Gruden, because I know Gruden's going to turn this thing around. I know it, because I know they've gotten a lot of wrath, and it hasn't been the expectation. But, as the game began, the players were doing warm-ups and stuff. I hate the Broncos. To and through, nobody. I mean, I live in Colorado. To be a Raider fan in Colorado, there's other Raider fans there, but to be a Raider fan when you're behind enemy lines, it is tough. So these guys are warming up, and I gave 110%. I wasn't gonna let my team down. I yelled so loud in that game, man, that I gave myself a migraine, but I didn't quit. Players warming up, Broncos go back. Philip Lindsay looked right at me. I yelled as loud as I can. I said, "That's right, you're in Raider Nation, baby. You're in our house this time." And he kind of shook his head, all right, we'll see. The kickoff happens, it's just electric. So there's a rainbow directly over the stadium, where the Al Davis torch was. And it was right as the game started, the rain stopped, completely stopped. Skies opened up, and the perfect half rainbow right over the torch. Marshawn Lynch went up there, lit the torch. It was the crowd was just in it. You could feel the energy in the air. I mean, I was trying to think of words to describe it. It's really hard to describe it because it was so. I mean, Gruden said his press conference it was electric, but to me it was more than electric. It was like a symphony or harmonious. Everybody was there to give 110%. From the moment that kickoff happened and how loud that crowd was, I don't know how loud it was on TV. And I can't say because I'm not a local and I hadn't been to a game since early 2000s. I don't know if that stadium's been louder. Everybody, every fan just put their heart into it. Every down, you could just feel it in your soul. Everybody. I can't whistle. I can't hoot and holler, but I can give a battle cry, like in combat and stuff, when our defense came on, the crowd was just, lights out on point with how loud we needed to let the Broncos know that they're in the silver and black stadium and that we aren't giving up. It don't matter what our record is. Everybody put their heart and soul into letting the Broncos know where they were at by our cheers. And then definitely once the Harris run back happened, you couldn't even hear yourself scream. It was so loud. So when that run back happened, I mean, people went crazy. I mean, literally, I was going crazy. High fives everywhere. Our first Christmas present was that run back. From there, anytime our defense came on, like Keith Smith would get up on the benches and he'd be raising his hands, but we're raising our hands. Like there was a play later on in the game where Casey Keenum threw a ball and he was past the line of scrimmage, and you could tell, right? Oh, dude, you should have been there, brother. The stadium was like, what? I mean, like everybody was like, do not take this from us, dude. We'll riot right now. We won't even wait till the game's over, and the whole stadium just started saying, refs, you suck. Refs, you suck. And I'm telling you, the refs had to have been scared. I mean, I would have been if I was a referee. Like, you better not, screw us on this. And honestly, even when the first play happened with Harris, that first big play, I thought they might, kind of turn it the other way. Not that they should, or not that it was that way, but that being a Raider fan, like that's what I'm used to. As the game went on, and after the crowd was really letting the refs have it, you could just really feel the momentum the whole game. I mean, usually most games, it's like you feel the momentum and then it just gets stolen from you. And then from that point, it's just like, man, the crowd gets out of it and it makes it really hard to like kind of get back into it, because it's such a gut blow. But it didn't seem like that. It seemed like we were, supporting this team 110% the whole game. Like you could feel the love, feel the passion, you could feel the pain. You could feel the pain that this might be our last game. The fans that have given so much to this team and how much love they have for the silver and black, like you could feel it. And as the game wrapped up, and that interception, really before that, the touchdown we got, the crowd just went crazy, and I was trying to get a video, and I fumbled my record button, but I got kind of the aftermath of it. But the crowd was just crazy. We got the last touchdown because each big play, that's like one chance closer that we're actually going to pull this guy off. And then when we had that last interception, that sealed the deal. Like that was it. We all knew when Gilchrist got that interception, like that was it. Like we're taking this baby home. And so that was really the final deal. The 2 minutes wrapped up, and we were able to kind of kneel down instead of worrying. Like the nail biter games, man. How many nail biter games have we had? Fourth quarter, 2 minutes. We're all shaking our legs, we're all trembling. Are we gonna get it? We have a chance. But this game was like, you know what? We got this. We don't gotta bite our nails this time. This thing's sealed, locked in the bag. We just gotta shut it out. And that was beautiful to see. Beautiful to be a part of. At the end of the game, Derek Carr started running around the stadium. I didn't know what he was doing. I was kind of watching Gruden and stuff, and all of a sudden I see Carr running around the stadium. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, he's giving high fives to all the fans. I'm like, no way. And I'm third row back, section 118. I'm trying to get up there, and there's this other guy who's like kind of blocking me in. I'm like, please, man, I've waited 9 years to come here, and I came from Colorado. He's like, well, if he comes over here, I'll let you in. But if he doesn't, I'm not letting you in. So he lets me in, and Derek Carr comes up. I get to give Derek Carr a high five. I was like, man, this is just too much, And then after that, there's like some big guys behind me coming down from the upper stands or something, and they're like trying to chant. They're like, storm the field, storm the field. I'm like, dude, I got my 2.5-year-old son right here. Please don't storm the field. They're like, no, we're just kidding. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like sitting there, and they're like, storm the field. And I'm like, all right, guys, you guys go ahead. Too big for me. You guys get down here. And there's a couple guys that jumped the railing and tried to make their heyday, and I think 4 or 6 guys got tackled right away and, kind of put on the grass. But right after that, I left. I didn't know what was going to happen, to be honest, but I didn't feel like the fans were real upset. Had we lost, yeah, maybe the turnout would have been different from the fans. But, I mean, all in all, the love that even Mark Davis to kind of come, even though it was a few fans that he only came and shook hands with, from that to the rainbow, Marshawn Lynch lighting the torch, how involved the crowd was, the rain cleared the entire game. And I kid you not, the moment we stepped outside the stadium, it started raining again. And it was coming down pretty hard. So the entire time it was like the skies cleared. It was clear skies and perfect weather for the game. And then right after the game, rain. And these guys, man, it was funny, man. When the Raider players came out, one of the guys was trying to step over puddles and stuff, and they're kind of like dancing around. I'm like, oh, dude, us fans are drenched head to toe. You better believe you're getting wet too, buddy.
Yeah. How late did you all stay till? They normally they kind of, on a night game, I was there for the Monday nighter against the Rams, and you could sit there for a little while, but they'll kind of eventually come through and usher you out. It looked like they were letting everybody kind of linger. Is that what was going on? Did you guys stay for that, or did you get out of town?
I didn't. I mean, honestly, I didn't know what the fans were going to do. I was a little precautious. I got a
2.5-year-old. I'm with you.
And a 2.5-year-old.
Yeah.
If I was single, I mean, yeah, man, I would have been right up there and, watched the sunrise with Raider Nation. But, yeah, we had to get going. And, so we didn't stick around too much. Some of their fans left. Yeah, we evacuated. It seemed like they let the fans be there for quite some time. So that was pretty cool. I mean, when we left the stadium, I seen a couple guys. I went and talked to them. They were local fans, actually. And, I just wanted to ask them, like, how they felt, because I have my own fandom, but my fandom's different. I'm around Bronco fans and stuff. And so I have my own, opinions based off of how I feel and what I've been through. But that doesn't mean that my opinion is the only opinion. I mean, in my opinion, the Raiders are full. The Raider fans are full of so much diversity, of all races, colors, different backgrounds. But at the end, we all bleed silver and black. And to be there, to be a nobody from Colorado or whatever, and guys just welcome you in like your family. I mean, that's special, man. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, Vegas has some hard shoes to fill. I mean, I'm all about us getting a new stadium. So I don't want to say one thing one way or the other, but at the end of the day, I mean, whoever fills the stadium in Vegas, I mean, the diehards that have supported this team for so long, they're big shoes to fill. And at some point, I mean, people got to be honest, like, no matter what one person's opinion is or not, to kind of, understand other perspectives. That's where I think we evolve as people and as the Raider Nation. It's, to me, there's only one nation under God, and that's a Raider Nation, And,
right,
but the local fans, they just said it's tough. They were hurt. I felt their pain. I'm talking to these guys, and they're like, we've been here for, X amount of years supporting this team every Sunday. One guy said he believed in Gruden the first time, but doesn't really know this time. And I told him, I'll be honest with all of Raider Nation, it took me 6 to 8 months once the move was announced for me to decide if I was going to stay a Raider fan. I asked myself some deep, hard questions if I was going to stick with this team. Everybody's got to have that kind of epiphany moment, or that, like self-talk, or why are they a Raiders fan? Are they going to stay a Raiders fan? Like some real hard questions. But, if you dig deep in your soul, after you ask those questions, you'll figure out if you're meant to stay part of that or not. I know the Raider Nation has been divided, but, I want this to be about unity, just like you and Uncle Mosh bring. And I just want everybody to know that, I love you guys, man. I've been getting my groin kicked in for 9 years, by Bronco fans and stuff. And it's been tough for me, waking up 6 a.m, having Bronco fans, 20 different people come up to you throughout a day. And that's why I came up with Black Mondays. It's like somebody taking a poo in your cup of coffee, and you're not even drinking coffee anymore. You like walk past guys and you're like, I'm going to walk 15 feet over this way so they don't come kick me again. And they'll go out of their way. They're like, hey, Mike, come here. Like, hey, how about that game? And, so it's been tough. It's been tough to me in different ways than some of the other fans. But you know what? There's no other team I would root for. There's no other team that has that love, in my opinion.
Well, you kind of given the answer to the last question, but why don't you go ahead and let's formalize it. Micael, first off, your experience sounds amazing, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come and join us here on Raiders Fan Radio, because as you know, we have listeners all over the country and all over the globe for that matter. So it's really cool to hear a firsthand account of what went down and what your experience was there. But what's your message to Raider Nation?
I'll say this, Raider Nation. I met John Gruden in 2005 when I was putting my dad's ashes up at Glacier National Park. I looked the man in the eyes, after the Super Bowl, and I told him, I said, I didn't know what to say to the guy. I was like, I'm the biggest Raiders fan ever. And he looked at me like not just looked at me, but looked at me like he was looking in my soul. And he said, yeah, I used to be the biggest Raiders fan ever. And I could see the pain in his eyes. I mean, that guy loved the Raiders and loves the Raiders. And if you have somebody like that on your team who's not going to wave wire, who's going to stick by your teammates, your fans' side in that bleed silver and black, you know what? In my opinion, the only way is up. As far as the media and stuff, I can rant for hours because I love the Raiders, and I'm obsessed with the Raiders drunk, whatever you want to call it. There's people with alternate opinions and agendas that aren't Raider fans that are always going to be anti-Raiders and biased to some degree. And I've found some, kind of details and truth of people that have kind of tried to separate the Raider Nation. But at the end of the day, the end of the hour, it's really obviously the Raider name is changing, and we are going to a different place. We're no longer going to be the Oakland Raiders, okay? We're going to be the Raiders, and then we're going to be potentially Las Vegas Raiders. But no matter if it's Las Vegas, I don't care where we play. We're always the Raiders. As long as we have the silver and black, the shield, and the name, we are the Raiders. And certain decisions have had to be made to unite the Raider Nation or to get the Raider Nation to evolve as an organization to the next level to be able to compete with maybe some of these other bigger franchises. And I know we have a lot of fans, but there's a business aspect to everything, okay? And it sucks, man. I know. People be like, well, the fans own the team, and I agree with you. But to be competitive with the changing of the NFL, sometimes things have to be done. Sometimes decisions have to be done that we don't all agree with. But at the end of the day, if we all sit down and ask ourselves hard questions, we all bleed silver and black, we're all family, we all love the Raiders, and together we stand, divided we fall. Either we stand together, unity is one, or we get divided by other elements in the world that try to separate us.
Hey man, bravo, Micael, bravo, man. That's awesome, and I appreciate the firsthand account, and appreciate the message there to the fans and your time and your dedication to the fandom, man. That's what it's all about. That's why we named the show Raiders Fan Radio, because we're a fan of fans, man. And I think it's cool the way that fandom manifests itself in different Raider fans, and to hear the passion that you have for the football team, man. That's what it's all about right there. Regardless of how people choose to define their fandom, it's all about the passion that drives us. And so it's great stuff, man. So I can't thank you enough for joining us here on the show, man. It's been a lot of fun talking to you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I just want to say, Murph, Uncle Mosh, Mikey, all you guys have been a light in a dark year. This has been the toughest year I've been a Raiders fan, I'll be honest, And guys like you, whether it's me being in an environment where I'm not around other Raider fans or whatever it might be, but guys like you, it helps shine some light in my day, because when you're a sheep amongst wolves, it can be some rough days. So I just want to say, anybody that's projecting the Raiders in a positive manner, that loves the Raiders the way that Murph does, Uncle Mosh does, or any, Mikey, any of these guys, I love you guys. I appreciate everybody and their loyalty. How guys like me that are kind of maybe stuck out in the middle of nowhere or whatever, that it really helps shine some light on me. So thank you. Man. Thank you, Murph. I love you guys, and keep doing the awesome work.
Oh, well, thank you. Much appreciated, my friend, and we will keep them coming for sure. Bud, thanks again, and have a good rest of the night. Travel safe with the family on the way back to Colorado, and and call us. You still owe us one more phone call, Micael, so you can be a made man on Raiders Fan Radio.
I do. I've been holding out for the special, but you know what? Whatever happens in Vegas started in Oakland. So, the foundation has been built by the Oakland Raider fans. And John Gruden, if you ever listen to him, he always talks about foundation and the mansion. You got to have a foundation. You know what? Oakland, dude, shout out to Oaktown, man. Oakland built the foundation for whatever this team becomes. And anybody that thinks that they're going to compete with that fandom, I mean, you better live up to the expectations and be part of the true silver and black Raider Nation.
Right on, man. Well said. Well said, my friend.
Love you guys.
All right. Thanks, Micael. Take care, bud. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye. Bye-bye.